Hello students, now we are going to see hardware software code design and program modeling from 4th module. First, fundamental issues in hardware software code design. See, before going for the design of embedded system, we have to collect the requirements from the customer. These requirements must be converted into system level needs or processing requirements. This is the first step. After doing that, these system level processing requirements must be transferred into functions. These functions should be simulated and tested against the functionality and performance of the system. In the third step, we have to do partitioning. So the system level processing requirements must be segregated into hardware requirements and software requirements. For that, we can use hardware and software trade-offs. There are few selections in the process. First one, model selection. Model, it describes the characteristics of the system. It is a sample design only. It consists of only objects and computational rules. And it does not describe about the implementation part of the system. Second one is architecture selection. So as I said, this model will not describe any implementation of the system, but this architecture describes briefly about how the system is going to be implemented and which are the components or which are the equipments are involved in the design and which are the interconnection between them. All these things will be described by the architecture. And there are different kind of architecture: controller architecture, data path architecture, complex instruction set computing, reduced instruction set computing, very long instruction word computing, single instruction multiple data, multiple instruction multiple data. These are the different architecture designs we have. Third one is language selection. So this is nothing but selecting the programming language for the design. We have multiple choices like C, C++, C Sharp, Java. All these languages can be used for the software implementation. Verilog, VHDL and System C, all these can be used in the hardware implementation. But we have to make sure that this language should easily capture the model. For example, if you take C++, that will easily capture the object oriented model. Okay. Fourth one is partitioning. So partitioning, as I said, the system level requirements must be segregated into hardware requirements and software requirements. So for this, we can use hardware software trade-offs like performance and reusability, effort. All these things we can use. Next one is computational design models in embedded design. There are 5 models: data flow graph or diagram model, control data flow graph or diagram model, state machine model, sequential program model, and concurrent or communicating process model. First one is data flow graph or diagram model, DFG model. This DFG model, it translates the data processing requirements into data flow graph. Here the program will be executed, or program execution is determined by the data. In this DFG model, we will be having only data flow graph. Okay, there will not be any conditional execution. Program execution is determined only by the data. In visual model, we can see the operation on data, or we can call process, will be represented using block, means circle, and data flow is represented using arrows. There are 2 arrows, inward arrow and outward arrow. Inward arrow to the circle is called input. Outward arrow from the circle is called output. One example, one requirement is given: x is equal to a plus b and y is equal to x minus c. For that, we have to draw DFG model. So here, as I said, we will be having only data flow node. In that data flow node, process will be mentioned inside. So there are 2 processes. One is addition and subtraction. So in the first one, addition is mentioned here. So this one is for addition. For the addition operation, inputs are a and b. So a and b are mentioned here with inward arrow. Then output is x, that is represented by outward arrow. Then second operation is subtraction, that is mentioned in the second data flow node. For the subtraction, inputs are x and c. So x and c are represented using inward arrow, and output is y, that is represented using outward arrow. Second one is control data flow graph diagram model. This is CDFG model. This is also converting data processing requirements into data flow graph. Here the program execution depends on the conditional execution. Here we are having both the data flow nodes and decision nodes. In the visual model, the operation on the data or process is represented using block and data flow is represented using arrows. But the control node also included here. The control node is represented by a diamond block, which is the decision making element. Okay, in a normal flowchart design, we can see one example. One requirement is given here. If flag is 1, x is equal to a plus b, else y is equal to a minus b. So flag is taken here, flag. If flag is 1, then we have to go for addition operation. Okay, so first one, addition operation, the inputs are a and b. So a and b are added here, and the node is data flow node. Here this one is diamond block, this is control node. Okay, if the flag is 0, then we have to go for subtraction. The inputs are same, a and b only. Okay, so this is CDFG model. Third one is state machine model. A state machine model, it describes the system behavior with the states, events, actions and transitions. State represents the current state, but even is the input of the state, and it is acting like stimuli for the transition. Transition is nothing but movement from one state to another state. Action, the process need to be done by the state machine. A finite state, there are different types of state machine model. One is finite state machine. In this FSM model, we will be having finite number of state only. So with that finite number of states, the operation of the system will be described. The second one is HCFSM model. This is hierarchical or concurrent finite state machine model. This is the extension of FSM only. It supports for concurrency and hierarchy. There are a few examples. One is automatic seatbelt warning system in automotive. Actually, for this system, the requirements are when this vehicle ignition is turned on, but the seat belt is not fastened. Within a 10 nanoseconds of ignition on, then the system generates alarm signal for 5 seconds. This alarm signal will be turned off if the time expires, or ignition key is turned off, or the passenger or driver fastens the seat belt. If anything happens, the alarm will be turned off. Okay. For this, we have to draw this FSM model, finite state machine model. So there are 3 states: alarm off, waiting and alarm on. Initially, the alarm will be in off state and it will be waiting for the ignition key to turn on. Ignition key is turned on, so it will go to wait state. It will wait for 10 seconds. It will be checking whether the system will be checking whether the driver or passenger is fastened the belt. If it is not happening, then the system will turn on the alarm. So the state will go to alarm on state. Okay. Then if time expires or seat belt is on or ignition key is turned off, if anything happens, again the alarm will go to off state. Second example is FSM model for automatic tea coffee vending machine. Okay. So here we have 4 states: state A, B, C, D. State A is wait for coin, state B is wait for user input, state C is dispense tea, state D is dispense coffee. Okay. First, initially the system will be in state A. So means it is waiting for the coin. So user is inserting the coin. Once the coin is inserted, he can move forward, he can go further, or he can press cancel button to get back the coin. So there can be 2 actions. One is he is inserting the coin, or he is pressing the cancel button. If he is pressing the cancel button, then action will be he will get the coin back. So again the state will go to A state. If he is pressing OK, the state will go to next state, that is B state. Means it will wait for the user input. He has to select coffee or tea. Okay. So if he is pressing, so again we have 2 options. The user can press T button or he can press coffee button. If he is pressing T button, then the state will be state C. If he is going for coffee option, then the state is state D. Action will be dispense tea here, dispense coffee here. So once the tea or coffee is dispensed, again the state will go back to initial state, means state A. Next example is coin operated telephone system. Here we have many state A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. State A is ready state. So initially the system will be in ready state. Okay. So means it will be waiting for the user. So user will lift the receiver. So action is okay. So the system will go to state B. Its state B is nothing but wait for coin. So it is waiting for the coin. So after picking the receiver, user will insert the coin. So that will happen in state B. Okay. So after that, system will go to state C. State C is wait for number. So it is waiting for user to dial the number. So here two things can happen. The user can dial a valid number or he can dial an invalid number. Okay. So when he is dialing invalid number, then the state will go to H state. The H state is nothing but invalid number input. So when that happens, then again he will put the receiver back. The user will put the receiver back. Okay. So event is he is placing the receiver back. He is getting the coin back, and the state will go to initial state A. Or if he is dialing the valid number, then state is D. D is nothing but dialing. Okay. So again two things can happen. The line can be connected, or if the line is fault or line busy, the user will get error display. So that time this device will go to stage G. G is nothing but unable to make call. So after getting that, again the user will put back the receiver and device will go to state A. Or from state D, if he is dialing the correct number and the call is connected, the device will go to state E. State E is nothing but call in process. So he will be talking. So again two things can happen. So during that call, he has to monitor the duration, because for 60 seconds only he can speak. Again he has to insert the coin. Two things can happen. Within the 60 seconds he can finish his talking and he can keep the receiver back. Okay, so means he is disconnecting the call. If he is disconnecting, this device will go to state A. Or timeout. He is not putting the next coin, so because of that timeout, time expired, so call terminated. So in that case device will go to state F. State F is call terminated. Okay. So if the call terminated, again he has to put the receiver back, means he has to go to state A. Again he has to start from the state A. So next again he will put another coin. So from the beginning he has to go. So that time also the device will go to state A. Okay. So all this happened. Another one more state is the state I. State I. If this telephone is out of order, so that time device will go to state I. So receiver the user will get the error display, means line fault or some display he will get. So in that case, when the system is out of order, system will go to state I. Fourth one is sequential program model. In sequential program model, functions or processing requirements are executed in sequence. Okay. Here the program instructions are iterated and executed conditionally, and data gets transferred through a series of operations. So in sequential program model, the FSM model and the flowcharts can be involved. We can use FSM or flowchart. The FSM approach is it represents the process by using states, events, transitions, and actions. But flowchart model it models the execution flow. Again, the same example is taken, seatbelt warning system. We know the requirement already. So here it is mentioned by flowchart. So what will happen first? Initially, the ignition key is turned on. So the system will wait for 10 seconds. It will wait and check whether the passenger or driver is fastens the seat belt. Okay, so within that 10 seconds, it will check whether the ignition is still on. There can be two answers, yes or no. If it is yes, it will check whether the seat belt is on. Okay, if it is no, then the process will be stopped. If it is yes, it will check again whether the seat belt is on. Again, there can be two, yes or no. If seat belt is yes, then there is no need of turning on the alarm. So that process will be terminated. If seat belt is not turned on, the device will set alarm for 5 seconds. Okay, so now the alarm is started. So during these 5 seconds, it has to check three things: whether the ignition key is still on, or the seat belt is on, or time expired. If anything is true, then alarm will be stopped. Alarm will be stopped. So this is the example for sequential program model. Then here the program is also written. First we are defining on state, off state, yes and no, and this is for we are making the configuration for seat belt warning system. So the system will wait for 10 seconds. Then it will check whether the ignition key is still on and the seat belt is off. Okay, if the seat belt is off and the ignition key is on, then it sets the alarm for 5 seconds. During this 5 seconds period, it will check whether the seat belt is still off or the ignition key is off or time expire. If anything happens, then the alarm will be stopped. The fourth one is concurrent or communicating process model. In concurrent or communicating process model, the big process will be segregated or will be divided into subtask. Okay, so each subtask will be executed parallelly, or each sub process will be executed parallelly. Okay, here the program executions are iterated and executed conditionally, and the data gets transferred through the series of operations only. Here the processing requirements are easier to model in concurrent processing model than the conventional sequential model, because here we are not executing the entire program. We are dividing that program into subtask and we are executing. Okay, the example again, the seat belt warning system only. Here we will create the task for wait timer, then we will create a task for ignition key status monitor, then seat belt status monitor, then alarm control. So for all the things we are making separate programs and we are executing. Okay, thank you.